Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the brewing machine, the coffee brewer. So you'll see up here a series of buttons. You got on, off, and then you got the different size batches. So you can brew at different sizes. So we always brew on the large batch. So it's large, medium, small. So you want to make sure that it's on the appropriate setting, which is large, that it's on, okay? And then over here is how we put the coffee in there. Now this is important. It may seem like obvious and it may seem simple, but there's some little details that I need to make you aware of so we don't have any accidents. And you'll find a bucket here. What we do is we grind. See this bucket? We'll grind coffee in the morning and we'll grind it into another big bucket, and then we'll dose out the coffee into the filters on this scale over here, and then we'll put in the right dosage. So you'll see here, up here is a strip here that's there to remind you of what the different sizes are. So you'll see here large is 10 ounce. So that means 10 ounces of coffee. So large is 10 ounce. So we'll go over here on this scale and we'll put a filter. There's one. They're very thin. You're just going to put one on there. And you're going to fill it up with 10 ounces of ground coffee. Very simple. Then you're going to pick it up like this, being careful not to spill it. And you're going to set it right into that, all right, with the coffee in it. It's going to look like that. So you have a bunch of them stacked up now. So then when we do need coffee, all we have to do, we don't have to take the time to grind it and weigh it. We just carefully grab this, put it in. Now when we put it in, you want to notice how we do it. It's just set it in there, and it's got to be level, flat, with all the edges against the sides. See, it's very important. See how I shake that a little bit so the coffee kind of pushes it, and you can go in there with your clean hands and push it against the sides there, making sure. So what would happen if I didn't do that, the water would start to brew and it would grab the edge of this and it would pull it down, and then all the grounds would float up and go behind the filter and would go into the brew pot. And then when we dispensed it, it would dispense a bunch of unpleasant grounds of coffee into the customer's drink. And then we would have to empty it out, take it back to the sink and rinse it out, tip it upside down, get all the grounds. So it's a hassle and it's time consuming. So that's why I'm telling you this now, is that when you do put the filter in here, make sure all the sides are pushed against the edge. Okay, if there's crinkles, you can actually fold it back. Okay, then we're going to come in here and we're going to simply slide it into, see there's some grooves in there? See little grooves in there? Probably already used a coffee machine, but these little grooves in here. I'm just going to slide this right in there. Okay, so now you're ready to brew. Again, you check here, make sure that this is on. That's on and this is off. So when we're not using it, at the end of the day, or whenever it's not being used, we're going to take it off of the heating mechanism by just bringing it over this lip. It's a little lip here, so you're going to bring it over that lip. But when you want to brew, you put it in, and then you're going to press brew. It's all you have to do is press brew, and then you'll check over here. You'll check over here. So go over here. Make sure it's on. Make sure it's on the right setting. Make sure there's fresh coffee in there. Okay, you take a look in there. Pull it out gently though, because it might be full of water, hot water. So you just want to pull it out slowly. Make sure that there's fresh coffee in there, that someone didn't forget to put fresh coffee and then you accidentally brew old coffee. That would be terrible. And then once you got it on the thing, you got it on the heating, everything's on, you got fresh coffee, you just press brew and you'll hear it start. You also want to make sure that it says it's brewing. See that it says now brewing? So sometimes you may press it and it might be off the burner or something might have happened and it doesn't brew. and you come back later and wonder why there's no coffee. So check those little things. Also, never run out of coffee. It's important to manage your coffee supply throughout the morning because it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to brew coffee. If we run out, it's not good because customers come in and they're forced to wait, and they get very unpleasant because they're in a hurry, or they didn't expect to wait that long for a cup of coffee. And in case of an emergency, if you do happen to run out of coffee, you know, as much as you need to really keep an eye on that stuff and make sure it doesn't happen. And the way we do that is that we'll brew here, and then once this is done brewing, we'll bring it over here, satellite station here, and then we'll dispense out of here. We'll bring the empty one, we'll take the empty one back over here and brew another pot. So while we're using this pot over here will be brewing. So that means that once that runs out, we'll have a backup. And we'll keep doing that throughout the morning until the demand and flow of people reduces, and then we'll slow down on the brewing. But it's important to keep an eye and understand how much coffee you're going through and to plan ahead. Okay? All right, so that's how you use the machine. The grinder, come over here, you'll see the grinder. You'll see here there's a line on the grinder, an arrow. That line is where we grind for our coffee in our shop. So the grind of coffee is very important because it changes the flavors dramatically depending on how fine and coarse the coffee is. So we have determined throughout the years that our coffee tastes the best on this line. So it's important when you grind coffee for us to make sure that the red arrow is on that line. For customers, they all have their own preferences. The most common one is auto drip. If someone says, oh, I want it for a cone filter, or I want it for auto drip, or just ordinary, they don't know it, and you say it's just a typical, you know, house coffee maker, right? Yeah, they say, yeah, it's just, well, then auto drip is usually your best bet. Okay, sometimes they'll say I want it fine. You'll see a fine. Sometimes they'll say espresso, and then you put it on the espresso setting. If they want like for French press, you're gonna go to regular perk for a French press. Okay, and then electric perk and stuff, those are all very rare requests. It's usually auto drip or for French press. Okay, so now you know how to use the grinder. Now the grinder only works if you have something under here at the time that you press on. See the on switch? It won't work if there's nothing under there. So simply all you do is you pour the coffee in there, and then you put the bag or the bucket under here, you know, and you'll press on and it'll start grinding for you. Make sure that it's on the proper setting, very important, and then press on and it'll start grinding the coffee. Very simple. Over here we have the granolas and the oatmeals. We keep it there because it's convenient. So if someone orders an oatmeal or granola, we'll grab it here, and you'll see here we have raisins and brown sugar and almonds all right there. Spoons for the granolas. Okay, so granola gets the steamed milk, so you get that ready and you bring it over to the barista station over there, and they'll put the steamed milk in it. If it's oatmeal, you can come over here. Now this is a hot water spigot. You can pour the hot water right into the oatmeal, just filling it up to the top of the oatmeal. So fill the hot water up right to the top. Then you'll put it in a bag with a spoon and almonds, raisins, whatever the customer may want. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it.